56. Bond stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan. Stacks, Slats. Joined, as always, every Sunday with my guys, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson. And Swerving, Irvin Washington. Live and direct. Fellas, how we doing?
Doing good. Can't complain.
Nice.
I can't complain. Tomorrow's Monday.
Y'all gonna get hit hard by the rain, Ben?
Not too bad. It was it was rough Friday night, I want to say, but no, we're staying clear. We didn't get the Tahoe level
That
storm that we're expected to hear like 12 to 14 feet.
Dude, did you see the videos of Donner Pass?
Yeah, shit's nuts.
Insane, dude.
It's been closed for 3 days.
Yeah, like Fresno State, it was played in Reno on Friday, and I'm like, dude, how the fuck are they gonna get out of there?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Reno only got like 1.5 2 feet, but they probably went down further south and crossed over.
That's true.
But yeah, shit's crazy.
Insane, man. Suns just killed a 20-point lead. Now they lead by 6 here. Wild.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The Suns are up by 6 right now.
Damn.
Yeah, they killed a 20-point lead in the third quarter. Pretty crazy stuff. And I mean,
if only the Warriors could do it.
Durant's hasn't even been in either. He's been on the bench. So yeah, man, crazy weekend of sports. We had the NFL Combine. Obviously, college basketball season's coming down to an end. We're heading towards conference tournaments, and then we're going to head into March Madness. It is March, if you haven't looked at the calendar. We got baseball. I mean, on the horizon, we did our NL Central preview last week. We're going to be doing our East preview this week. So looking forward to that.
Yep.
And we had F1 start, if anyone cares about that, which I know Ben wanted to talk about here today.
I did.
LeBron, first player ever, scored 40,000 points on Saturday in a loss, of course, to the Denver Nuggets. Just a lot of crazy stuff. We're gonna get into a lot, so I'm looking forward to the show. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Make sure to download it. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download. Track your bets. Become a better Sharps app. So, with that being said, Ben, you want to kick it off with the start of F1 season?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of wanted to talk about that because, you know, we have a new season. There's been very little movement in kind of where our teams are set. We've got a big change next year with Hamilton, but we're another year in and we're another Max Verstappen, win behind his belt. And it's just every single time Max Verstappen gets the lead. And is there any value behind watching F1 because we know he's going to win? And, is there enough to draw in who's going to get second place? Yeah, I'm guessing, we can't look at numbers for the first race because everybody's going to tune in for the first race. But
I didn't.
I wouldn't be surprised if, you don't normally watch,
Nope.
F1 races, but like I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers this year are so low because 90% of our races are going to be won by Verstappen.
Well, it's an interesting conversation, and I talked with someone that actually follows F1 and has followed it for quite some time, and F1's rise to fame was really that show on Netflix that they had, right? That was like pre-pandemic, like 2020, and at that time, it was more competitive, like a lot more guys winning. Obviously, Leonard Hamilton was a big help to the rise of F1. And then now, we had the Vegas race last year, and that race literally meant nothing because Max Verstappen had already like won the season, won the cup, so like it was pointless. And he won the race, by the way. So
yeah, he won the race. So he was his end of the season points. He was at 575.
Who is the next closest?
Sergio Perez,
his
285.
Yeah, and it was a perfect opportunity with the Vegas race to capture casual fans into your sport. And I don't know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but as someone that looks on the outside, like, because I don't follow F1, I really don't fucking care for it, and a big reason why I don't care for it is because every time I look, the same fucking guy wins. It's like, why am I gonna invest my time?
He lost 2 races last year.
It's just crazy. Like, it's just so uncompetitive. Like, it probably will eventually kill itself, kill the sport, because no one's gonna. Why would anyone want to watch that shit when you know the outcome already?
Exactly.
People are,
and there's no
Ben. I've seen people betting him like minus 4,000 to win, dude. Like,
yeah,
you gotta lay $4,000 to
money on him.
Win $1.
Yeah, but they're winning. They're putting hell of money on him. $40K. To win
$1,000.
Win $1,000. Yeah,
dude. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I've had less interest to watch it because my only interest is he gonna fuck up and crash, or is someone gonna just run a absolutely perfect race, because that's the only way that you can beat him.
Yeah.
And yes, he's got talent. Yes, he's got a great car, but
isn't that the big thing though? Is that like the Red Bull team just has like the best cars, because they do finish first and second. So is it really Max Verstappen who's the catalyst, or is it the car?
It's both. He's an incredible driver, absolutely incredible driver.
What did he do before Red Bull?
I think he started with Red Bull.
Oh, okay. Because that's an interesting thing too. Is like, is it the car, and why our Red Bull's car is so much better than Ferrari and Mercedes and all these other teams? I don't know. I don't watch the fucking sport, so I couldn't tell you. But what I will say is I don't watch it because it's fucking incredibly boring, and I already know what's gonna happen. It's the outcome.
Yeah. He's been with Red Bull Racing since 2016.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. F1. They got a fan base though.
And he was with the team that Red Bull bought.
Oh, okay.
Scuderia Toro Rosso.
Yeah, I saw something too that like the manager of the Red Bull racing team and Verstappen are like at each other's like throats and shit. Like, this could be the last year of one of them, or I don't fucking know. I just saw a little tidbit there on the Twitter machine about it.
He's finished first the last 3 years, 21, 22, and 23. And he was third in 20 and third in 2019, fourth in 2018, sixth in 2017, fifth in 2016.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. All right. LeBron, 40,000 points, scored, first player to ever do it. Incredible feat. Still at the top of his game. One thing that was said that Irv kind of touched on as we came on air was that, he was saying, he was asked a question about like what would you tell your 18-year-old self and stuff, and he was talking about like how he's always been hated on since he's come into the league, and then which I mean obviously it's like the most true thing ever. Like, I'm Ben. You and I are around the same age as him.
Yeah, hated and goated at the same time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he has his fans, but I mean, like for as many fans as he has like the contractors too, like the people that want to see him fail. Like they've wanted to see him fail since he was the chosen one on the SI cover at 16 years old, right? And like I saw it in high school. Like I was one of those kids at one point. Like I was like, bro, this kid's on fucking Sports Illustrated being called the chosen one. Like what the fuck? Like, it took me a while honestly to come to learn to respect LeBron, dude. Like it wasn't until, even when he went to Miami, I was like, man, fuck this guy. Like he's taking the easy way out and shit. But it was after he lost that finals and the way he bounced back the next year that I like really started to gain a lot of respect for LeBron. And so like I've seen it. I've seen the hate. And for like people to sit there and be like, oh, this guy's never been hated on is fucking insane, dude. Like, I mean, come on. Like he's obviously a polarizing figure, right? Like he's always going to have his fans and he's always going to have the haters. Like it's going to exist. And Michael Jordan probably would have had the same thing if he existed in the social media era. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the territory a little bit.
Well, it probably would have been worse for Michael Jordan because, his gambling was really prevalent in the public eye.
Oh, yeah, dude. He probably, honestly, that shit could have gotten nasty if social media existed back then, dude.
He gambled on everything. You watched The Last Dance, the motherfucker was gambling on flipping quarters who could get it closer to the wall or some shit.
With the fucking head of security, dude.
Yeah.
Shit.
Shout out to Jordan. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, in my opinion, he's the best player to ever play, but, I don't want to detract anything from LeBron, which people can't seem to separate. Like, they're like, oh, you either have to consider him the GOAT or he sucks. Like, he's not on the level of the other great players. And, like, that shit's just, it's retarded. Excuse me, I don't want to use that word. It doesn't make sense.
He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. 40,000 points is incredible, dude. He did it in less years than Kareem. And Kareem only scored 38,000. It's incredible stuff.
And that was going to be my question: is how long do we think he's going to be playing still? Because he's putting up about 1,500 points a season. So, if he goes for 2 more seasons, he's going to be close to 44,000 points.
Well, man, I'll say he plays 2 or 3 more years, probably.
I think 2 is probably this is the thing, and like Irv and I talked about this the other day, and like I don't think LeBron's that type of player that's gonna like play when he's like a role player like Dirk was, right? When Dirk was like 40, 41, and he was like playing like 12, 15 minutes a game. Like I don't see that being LeBron. I think when LeBron starts to like fade out and he knows that he's on his way out, I think he's gonna leave the game. But the way he's playing this year, I think he definitely has 2. I mean, the way he's playing this year, he might have like 3 or 4 years left. I just don't know if that'll happen. I think what's going to happen, I think he's going to sign a 1-year deal with someone next year. And depending on Bronny's route, because I think Bronny's going back to USC. I think he's going to play another year in college. So I think LeBron's going to sign a 1-year deal somewhere. And then based on what Bronny's going to do, that'll be his deciding factor. And obviously, I'm just guessing here.
Because he has a player option, right?
Yeah, this year he does, yes. And if he does sign 1 year, I do think it's with a team in California. So I think the Warriors are obviously he probably wants to stay with the Lakers. It's just whether the Lakers are competitive enough. I think that's the biggest question. And like we hear all this shit for like the last 6 months about how he's always wanted to play with Steph. I've wanted to play with Steph. So it wouldn't shock me if he played for like a 1 year, mid-level exception contract in Golden State. Obviously, the guy doesn't need the money, but that gives him the ability to still watch Bronny's games because obviously he has a PJ, so he could fucking fly to watch Bronny's games. Although, with USC going into the Big Ten next year, they are going to have a lot more games outside of the Pacific time zone. So that is something else to factor in. I don't know. What do you think, Ben?
I mean, I think he's got 2 more years. I mean, I think his goal is to play with Bronny. So, if that means Bronny's not coming back, or if Bronny's going to stay 1 more year in college, which I think he definitely has to, then, we'll get 2 more years out of LeBron. But I think once he plays a season with Bronny, then, he hangs it up. I mean, at this point, he's got nothing left to play for.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
LeBron
got all the legacy.
Yeah, LeBron has nothing to play for.
Yeah, he's got all the legacy. I mean, you can. I mean, I don't think at this point, especially if he, 2 more seasons, he puts up another 3,500 points with the remainder of this season and the next 2. Nobody's going to catch him at 44,000 points. He's going to have that record for a long time.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with the record part for sure.
Yeah, I mean, KD is the closest active player, and he's at 28,000. It just don't. Yeah, and then Russell Westbrook is 25th on the list, but he's at 25,000 right now. Like James Harden too. But so in the top 25, there's only 4 other people that are active that are not even close.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a very difficult record because one thing people forget is not only has LeBron played for so long, but he came in out of high school, which you can't do anymore. And number 2, he really hasn't been hurt other than like 2 years ago where he was hurt for like a month or 2. Dude, he stayed relatively very healthy in his career. So I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to pass him up. Just to sustain that kind of longevity, I think is very difficult. I do think LeBron is a very competitive person, though, in the sense that, like, yeah, he doesn't have anything to play for, but if he does sign a 1-year deal elsewhere next year, like, he's not going to go sign with a team that, like, is a bunch of bums, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's still going to want to be on a competitive team. And, but I think more, so you got to factor in, like, competitive and then being able to be close to his family and near Bronny and stuff. I think you got to kind of factor all those things in. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. The Lakers season isn't looking very good. So
I wouldn't be surprised if he does sign a 1-year deal with the Warriors, and he doesn't need a lot of money. So
yeah, no, he's already got money. I really want him to go play with the Spurs, to be honest. I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
Play with Wemby. Yep. Because the Spurs are going to make the playoffs next year. I guarantee it.
Yep.
And if you get LeBron, then, that'd be even better. But the more the season progresses and the more I hear, I definitely think it's going to be the Warriors. Mm-hmm. The only reason why he would stay with the Lakers is because, like, his family and everything's in LA. Because he's made multiple comments that seem like he's over the Lakers this year, done. Dude.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like, it could be in the heat of the moment. And we'll see.
Ownership as part of the deal.
Nah, because as soon as he retires, Ben, he's gonna buy that. He's gonna start that Vegas franchise.
Okay.
He's gonna be one of the owners. That's what's gonna happen. That actually may be the key to when he retires, Ben, because the CBA only goes for 1 more year in the NBA, which is that. Then when they're gonna start expansion talks, he might actually only play 1 more year, regardless of whether Bronny comes out or not, because he's already stated multiple times like he wants to be the owner of the Vegas team or owner of the Vegas team when it comes.
And he can't be an active player and owner, correct?
Cannot be an active player and owner, yep.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. I didn't even think about that till you just said something. That could be huge. All right, let's move on to the NFL Combine, the greatest time of year.
Another beer.
All right. The NFL Combine is for those that don't watch college football, so this is like the first time they're seeing these people. But first thing I wanted to ask you, Irv, is do you think the Combine has any significant importance?
Yeah, for certain positions, yeah. As far as like running back, receiver. The measurements, the athletics, the drills as far as like the 3-cone, the 40, yay or nay. It's more important for certain positions. But at the same time, the 40 could be overrated for a position too. So
Yeah.
but nah, it's just a good measurement of athleticism. They want to know, they get to pick the kids' brains as far as interviews and all that good stuff. So, and plus it gives them a good, as far as athleticism, it gives them a good comparison to people that came before them at that size, that weight, as far as, 10-yard splits with the linemen. The 40, it's really important for running backs, wide receivers, and corner DB. So, because they want to see that straight line speed as far as, and does it translate to you on tape when you're on the field playing. So, I wouldn't say it's completely outdated, but some of the stuff that's in there is outdated. Like the quarterback, we all know the top quarterbacks are never going to throw at the combine consistently ever because they always do it at their pro day. And why would they go out there and throw the receivers that they never worked with before? So, if anything, it's not really going. It could help them, but they have more to lose and they got more to gain. So,
yep, I agree. I always go back to like remember Dontari Poe from Memphis who got drafted by like the Chiefs in the second round. Like when he went into the combine, no one expected him to get drafted or be a high draft pick, and then he just had an incredible fucking combine. And then
he might have went in the first round, honestly.
He went first or second round, but he definitely had like a huge jump. Like no one expected that. Mm-hmm. But I always say like, regardless of position too, and I do agree with you in the sense that like I do think there are things in positions that like you definitely have to measure. There is measurables that you kind of want to meet, but I think ultimately like you can't let it override the tape, dude. You know what I mean? Like we do this too often every fucking year, dude. We like someone falls in love with someone at the combine. And it's like, bro, we watched this motherfucker play for like 3 years, dude. Like he ain't that good. Like I don't care.
Yes and no, but like it's a determining factor of like if you have two people at that same level, and one comes out and shines at the combine because they've put so much work in since their last game, knowing that they're going to the combine, knowing that they're going to get drafted. Okay, so does that, you've got, Xavier Worthy, who's just shined yesterday at ranked 31st, and then you got Keon Coleman, who's ranked 32nd. And you are neck and neck with those two, and then you see fucking Xavier Worthy go balls to wall at the combine. That puts him up.
Yeah, but it's another case, and you're right, dude. Keon Coleman's probably going to fall in the draft because he ran a 4.6 40, and like Irv said earlier, like 40's important for a wide receiver in DB because you want to see their top end speed. However,
he was way faster than that on tape.
Exactly, dude. And that's the thing is like he's gonna slip and someone's gonna get him, and like we've seen him play, bro. Like the dude can play, and like he played against top level talent in college football. Like we know he could play. So teams are going to overthink it, and they're going to be like, oh, well, he ran a fucking slow 40, dude. Like, we can't have him, blah, blah, blah. You know who else didn't run a fast 40, bro? There's a lot of wide receivers. One of them is Jerry Rice. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have a good 40 time. So sometimes I think that these teams and us as fans, like, we overthink something sometimes when it's very simple. Like, you see a kid play. If you watch someone play and he stands out to you and he's the best player in the gym, right? Like, he's good. That's what you need to see. And I just think at combine, we just tend to overreact sometimes, and we become infatuated with, like, Michael Penix Jr., for example. Oh my God, he's got the second largest hands in the history of the combine. Okay, well, you know what? I know a lot about Michael Penix. I know he can't throw when he's under duress, dude. And I know he's a great thrower when he has a clean pocket. I don't need to know what his hand size is. I don't need to see him run a 40. You know what I mean?
You always care about hand size. You always care about hand size.
Well, you do in the sense of like holding on to the football, dude. Like, you don't want someone with tiny hands, bro. Like, because look, Daniel Jones has like the smallest hands ever recorded in the NFL Combine, and that dude he averages like 6 fumbles a year, man. That's the only thing I care about hand size, is the fact that, like, if you have tiny hands, you're gonna fumble the ball a lot. That's a given fact. But I don't care that he has the second largest hands in the history of the combine. You know who has the largest? See, that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? All I need to know is if he has small hands. That's it. If he got small hands, I don't want him.
Who does have the largest?
Anthony Richardson last year. The only reason why I know that is because I read an article.
I knew you were gonna know. Mm-hmm.
I read an article this morning because I didn't know.
You read it like you knew it last year.
No, I didn't know it last year. Honestly, I had no clue. Because I saw on Twitter that everyone's like, "Oh my God, Michael Penix's hand size is huge." Yeah. I clicked an article and it said Anthony Richardson had the largest. Baker Mayfield also has large hands, according to that article. So that's something.
But he smells like cabbage.
He does. Lots of chatter at the NFL Combine too. I first want to start with Caleb Williams, obviously. He obviously decided not to throw at the Combine, decided not to give his medicals, and that's when, like, a lot of people, like, really started freaking out. And then it's like just a lot of made up shit going around about Caleb Williams this whole weekend. Which is it's sad, dude. It's honestly pathetic. What do you think, Irv, on the whole Caleb Williams situation?
I wouldn't be surprised that if it comes out, well, it probably won't ever come out, but we find out, to get leaked out, that teams are paying to have this type of shit put out about him, because it makes no sense of every move he makes. Like, people was coming out talking about, oh, he's not even 6 feet, he's probably 5'10".
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, how could you look at Caleb next to Bryce Young, who he was clearly taller than by a couple inches? Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley's not a short guy. He might look short, but he ain't short. There's a lot of bullshit out there. Oh, him not giving up his medical records. Why would I send my medical records to 32 teams knowing I'm going to be the number 1 pick, whether it's the Bears or somebody trading up to get the number 1 pick? Because he's not going past number 1. I don't know whether the Bears draft him and trade him or they trade the pick. Caleb Williams is guaranteed to be your number 1 pick. Unless
I think those should be available to any team that asks for them, though.
But
because if they ask for them,
because unless he knows for a fact that team is actually trying to trade up and get the number 1 pick, I'm not finna send my medicals to all 32 teams. Then on top of that, if he sends his medicals to all 32 teams, that means all 32 teams can request a meeting with him.
Yep. Yeah, because he came out and said, like, I'll give my medicals to any team I meet with. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the Bears, the Commanders, like, any team that requests a meeting with me, I'll give them all the information. But he's not going to go out there and he's not going to give out his medical history to 32 teams, knowing damn well that the Chiefs and the Bills certainly don't need those medical records. They're not drafting him, you know what I mean? So
the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Dolphins, well, maybe the Dolphins, the Ravens. So,
teams with a franchise quarterback, like, they're not going to trade for him, dude. You know what I mean? So, like,
the Rams. And then another thing I don't get is they made a big deal of him and not throwing at the combine. Oh, he's afraid to compete. Um, Name me the last 10 or 12 quarterbacks that went number one overall that threw at the combine outside of Andrew Luck.
No, they don't. It only hurts you.
Well, and and I think that in this case, where he is such a front runner, you don't necessarily need to do that. It can only hurt you.
Yeah, because you're
And
throwing the
I mean, it can only make things.
you're throwing the dudes you've never worked with, and if you're a guaranteed first round pick, it just makes absolutely zero sense to throw at the combine. You're only gonna hurt yourself. Now, a guy like Michael Penix, for example, where he's like a fringe first round, second round prospect, you know, everyone's like, oh, he's a competitor. Dude, the dude didn't even throw at the fucking Senior Bowl. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah,
do you get a
he's good.
higher draft or do you get higher compensation if you're a first round pick versus a second round pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get 5 years pretty much guaranteed unless the team don't pick up your option. But if they don't pick up your option 9 times out of 10, they trade you, and that team has to pick up your option. So,
Mhm. And then what is it for second round? Is it a 3
it's
year?
4 years, and
Okay.
then they got to get either they get an extension their third year, their fourth year, or they become a restricted free agent
Okay.
because most of the time they get tagged.
And you get a signing bonus, right?
Yeah, you get a signing bonus.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, for Caleb, it just makes no
But
sense.
honestly, yeah, but honestly, this kind of remind me of like when Dion came out. Like he knows he's gonna go top 5. Well, Caleb know he's going top 1, but Dion knew he was going top 5. So when he met with certain teams, because I'm not gonna waste my time. Like he said, when the Giants gave him that handbook, he was like, "What pick y'all got? 10th overall. Oh, I won't be around that long. I ain't gotta waste my time here."
Yeah.
So
Yep. And it's the same thing with like Eli Manning too. Like Eli Manning forced his way out of San Diego, and like nobody said a word. It's like, okay, he's just doing what's best for him. But then it's
yeah,
like,
he's part of the he's part of that holy grail of a family.
yeah,
Had a dude this had a dude over the weekend tell us on Twitter, shout out to Jay Buff, that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer in his sleep. That dude's the most middest fucking quarterback I've watched in my whole life. Outside of 2 games and 2 playoff runs,
yep.
Eli Manning mid as fuck.
Yeah, he was never a top 5 quarterback in any year that he played, dude. You can name 5 better quarterbacks. Like, the only reason why he's going to make the Hall of Fame is those 2 Super Bowls and his last name. That's it. That's the only reason why he's getting in. But he's Hall of Good. He's not Hall of Fame. Shit's incredible. But as far as Caleb's concerned, like, I just hate that, like, these narratives are being spun and a lot of shit's being created. Like, oh, his teammates don't like him. And they take a quote from Buchanan where he says, "We a team now," and they take it out of context. Like, I mean, dude, the shit's just crazy, bro. And this goes back to the LeBron conversation too, right? Because Caleb Williams, before last season, he's being paraded around as like the best prospect, the best quarterback since Patrick Mahomes on that level. The Andrew Lucks, the Patrick Mahomes, the John Elways of the world. So everybody's like automatically they're like, man, fuck this shit. Like this dude hasn't proven nothing. Like fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit. And now we're seeing it all come to fruition because anything negative that is said about Caleb Williams, everyone fucking runs with it, dude. Oh, his fucking his teammates hate him. They didn't go to his birthday party. It's like, come on, man.
I still can't believe that people really thought that he said he wanted ownership of the franchise and he was going to leverage his way to not play for Chicago. Y'all do realize that he had 3 whole months that he knew Chicago was getting the number 1 pick, and he could have easily said, "I'm going back to college."
Yep.
And fuck you guys, you didn't come to my birthday. Shit.
Oh man,
Your birthday ain't even. Your birthday is not even for a month.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't have a birthday this year.
Y'all
So
didn't tell me happy birthday, so fuck both of y'all.
I did.
We did tell you happy birthday, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like seriously. But I don't know. I think Caleb's gonna be the number 1 pick, and if the Bears do, whoever drafts him, they getting a hell of a player, a hell of a quarterback, a hell of a human being. Dude started a foundation while he was in college, and it's geared towards mental health for young people, anti-bullying. He stuck around to sign autographs and made sure 2 kids from Utah that just lost their dad that week before to make sure they came to the game and got to meet him. So you could worry about what he paints on his nails. You could worry about what stupid ass people say on Twitter that he's whatever. Anyway, when he gets drafted, we gonna see what Caleb Williams is gonna be.
That's right.
My only concern is him is playing on schedule and not falling in love with the big play. If he learns those 2 things, lights out.
Yep.
He's still got to have somebody to throw to. That's what worries me with Chicago.
Well, they got DJ Moore.
Chicago
They
got
have one
100,
wide receiver.
but they're gonna have $100 million in cap space. Mike Evans a free agent. Michael Pittman might be a free agent.
75 million.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be some good wide receivers available. T Higgins gonna get franchised. They're not letting him walk at least for one more year. Brandon Ayuk might win out of San Francisco, so they're gonna have plenty of opportunities to get him weapons.
He still has another year though.
Yeah, they got to trade for Ayuk.
Yeah. And from what I hear, Lynch is strong on re-signing him. So,
Yeah, even though he doesn't want to be there.
But they talked Devo into saying he didn't want to be there at one point. You know, when they see them commas on that contract offer, that might change things.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's talk about Chicago though. Like they've got 1 and 9. Do you think that 9 picks gets traded, or do you think you have to take
they're gonna
someone for that offensive line?
They taking either an old lineman or if they get multiple picks in this year's draft to trade at number 9, then I would say probably entertain it. But if old boy from Penn State or the dude from Notre Dame is available, you can't trade that pick because both of those dudes have franchise left tackle grades and potential, especially Joe Alt.
Yeah.
I ain't seen a lineman this complete in a long time. A lot of people say they remind him of Joe Thomas. So,
yep.
And we know what Joe Thomas is. That's a top 4 or 5, top 3 left tackle all time.
That's what
Joe Alt?
Yeah, Joe Alt from Notre Dame. That's what pains me too, because I want the Cardinals to take him, but there's hella rumors going around that Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't show up to the combine because he basically got a guarantee from the Cardinals that if he's there at 4, he's off the board. Which, is also not a bad pick either, but, Joe Alt is a very complete left tackle, dude, and, you have to build in the trenches, dude. You have to be good in the trenches to be a good team. And, they took Paris Johnson last year, and then you take Joe Alt, and you got Paris Johnson and Joe Alt anchoring your line. That'd be nice, bro.
So, another mock draft has Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner, he measured very well.
That might, because the only thing you could put in the same class as a tackle is an edge rusher, because it goes quarterback, however you look at it, quarterback, tackle, edge rusher, quarterback, edge rusher, tackle for the most important positions outside of being Aaron Donald, but it ain't that many Aaron Donalds walking this earth. So, I could see that, but I think it's more prevalent to protect your franchise quarterback, whether it be Justin Fields. My money's on Caleb Williams. And if Joe Alt's there, I don't see how you pass on Joe Alt or the left tackle from Penn State, because both of those, I like Joe Alt a little bit better because his film is a little more consistent, and I think he was a 4-year starter and only gave up 2 sacks.
Yeah, I don't think he slides past the Chargers, dude.
But they saying the Chargers might take Brock Bowers.
The Chargers should take Brock Bowers, to be honest. But
the 2 I see for Chargers are Olumoyawa.
Yeah, that's the guy from Penn State.
That's the guy from Penn State.
Okay. And both these mock drafts, again, these are just fucking mock drafts. Who CBS, NFL, who the fuck cares? But they both have Joe Alt going to Tennessee at 7.
Yeah, Tennessee definitely taking a tackle because that offensive line was terrible last year.
Yeah, so if Joe Alt and Olushanu is both off the board, then I could definitely see the Bears going edge rusher.
because that's a crazy thing too, Irv, is like Brock Bowers' name barely been mentioned, and like Brock Bowers, honestly, if he's one of the best players in this draft, if we're talking
Easily, he's a
football
top
players.
4-5 player minimum. Because at the end of the day, it's only like 2 tight ends that have been put in his stratosphere as prospects, and that's Vernon Davis and
Gronk.
a boy that came out from Florida. But he's basically Jeremy Shockey but faster. And,
Yeah.
Jeremy Shockey was a motherfucking dog. So
Yep.
um
And Brock Bowers is like
yeah.
6'7", isn't he?
Now he's 6'5",
He-
6'4" or 6'5", one of them. Because remember,
He tall as
Washington
fuck.
was 6'7", and but he made Brock Bowers look small, but Brock Bowers not small. So
Yeah.
it's whoever gets Brock Bowers, I guarantee his first year he's going over 1,000 yards, probably 10 touchdowns, depending on the offense he goes to, because he's just that damn good, and he's a great blocker. He's like Kittle but faster. I think he's bigger than Kittle. Wait,
Yeah,
how
he's
tall is
bigger.
George Kittle?
Like 6'2", 6'3". Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Brock Bowers
bigger
is
than
huge,
Kittle,
bro.
So yeah,
He's huge. So I definitely would like to see that. Trade rumors: Justin Fields. On Thursday night he was like minus 200 to get traded to the Falcons, and on Friday morning minus 400 to get traded to the Falcons. Very good likely scenario now that he gets traded to the Falcons. If Justin Fields does get traded to the Falcons, do you guys think the Falcons are the team to beat in the NFC South?
yes, because all they would need, if they get Justin Fields, all they would need is another cornerback and maybe another edge rusher. And with Brian Burns pretty much going to be a free agent, they should definitely go after him.
A lot of teams don't have that much money in free agency, though.
Wait, do the Falcons got a lot of money or no?
Nah.
Oh, yeah, because Burns is going to command like top 2, top 3 edge money. So
Let me see.
There's also a couple other teams that are possibles, and it seems like even just Pittsburgh has come up with in the last couple of days to really be an option there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does go to Pittsburgh. I mean, we've seen they're done on Pickett. I don't know how much better that would be, but it wouldn't surprise me if he went there. I'm hearing, I was reading on Vegas being interested on him, and then Minnesota too.
yeah, he's 6'4" and 3. He's basically 6'5", 6'4" and 3/4.
Who?
Brock Bowers.
Yeah, he's big, bro.
Yep.
Damn, I'm trying to. How the fuck do I fucking do this shit?
I could see Fields going to any of those 4 teams. None of them have good draft capital, and all of them need a QB.
Cap tracker. Here we go. All right, so the Commanders have the most money in free agency, 96 million. Patriots have 91 million. Titans have 80 million. Bears have 79 million. Colts have 73 million. Texans have 70, Lions 54, Bengals 52, Cardinals 51, Raiders 47, Bucks 43, Rams 43. But remember, if the Bucks re-sign Mayfield, that's going to cut into a lot of that shit. Rams 43, and again, they have some free agents to re-sign. Falcons 41, Vikings 41, Eagles 39, Panthers 36. The Eagles just freed up 13 million by cutting Byard, and then basically everyone else is under 30. And then you have the Niners, Cowboys, Saints, Broncos, Chargers, Dolphins, and Bills all negative. So they have nothing to spend. Chiefs got 9 million. And they got a lot of decisions to make too.
Yeah.
They got 2 big decisions to make.
Yeah, but Kelsey and Mahomes gonna restructure, so that's gonna probably free up like 40, 50 million in cap space.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they're gonna tag Snead and try to work out a long-term deal. Um, if they don't trade for a wide receiver, I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to get one for sure.
Yeah,
So imagine if Mike Evans takes a little less and signs with them. Damn.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, there is teams that can obviously afford Brian Burns, but it's like not a lot of teams to like get a market, especially because a lot of these teams, like the Vikings, for example, because they didn't re-sign Kirk Cousins yet, right? So depending on their situation there, and then like I said, the Bucks too. If they re-sign Baker Mayfield, that's going to cut into a big majority of their fucking cap. So we'll see. We'll see. Watch them go to the Commanders. I can't believe the Commanders have $100 million to spend, dog. Like, what are you gonna do with all that?
But
They're
back
gonna
to
have to pay.
Fields.
They're gonna have to pay their tax because they're gonna have to overpay for free agents.
Yeah.
Going to that dog shit franchise.
Back to Fields though, like, are we sure it's gonna be Atlanta?
It's either Atlanta or I know it's just people was mentioning the Steelers too.
Yeah.
I think it's Atlanta, but I also, unlike Irv, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
think it's
from
like,
Atlanta. It makes too much sense. Honestly.
I don't think it's a slam dunk that the Falcons are just gonna be good because they get Fields. Like, outside of like 2 or 3 runs a game, like this guy's pretty fucking average, dude. He hasn't shown anything, so
Yeah.
can he be good? Absolutely, but if you're the Falcons and like, I think the Falcons have a pretty good roster. I think they have a roster that's definitely able to compete. Would you rather go get a Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, or would you want to trade? Because Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield, you could sign as a free agent. You don't have to trade anything. Or do you trade for Justin Fields? Obviously, Fields would be cheaper. You have to give up draft capital, but probably not a ton. But you only have 1 more year of control, and then you have to pay him if he's good, or you basically let him walk if he sucks, and then you wasted a draft pick. So, what would you guys do?
I mean, I'm trading a second for him. I think a second is not too big of a loss. That if he only, competes for a year, then
like, so you're saying you trade a second and he sucks, and like you're not gonna re-sign him, and so you're just like, fuck it, a second round pick's a second round pick. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you can get, obviously you can get a great player in the second, but if you don't have a QB, that second round pick isn't going to do much anyways. So if you're going out there with Desmond Ridder, your second round pick isn't going to do much anyways. So if you can, if you can get Justin Fields and have that potential for being their franchise quarterback, Mayfield isn't going to be playing as long as Fields. Kirk Cousins probably only has 2-3 years left.
Mayfield's still young though, Ben. Like, he's only like 28 years old.
Yeah, but
29.
you don't have as much. He was 2017 draft out of college?
2017, 20, I don't know if I can remember.
Yeah.
Probably around 2017.
So you get an extra 2-3 years with Fields.
But that's if he's good. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what if you trade for him and he sucks again? Then it's like, all right, now what? Now where do we go?
I don't know. With that, they hired Zach Anderson to be their head coach, right?
Nah, they hired Raheem Morris.
Oh, so Zach Anderson is the OC.
I think so.
I don't know, man. I love the fit. I think that's gonna be a great fit for Justin. He's my guy, so I don't give a fuck when nobody say he's gonna be a dog.
Irv's gonna be saying this shit for 10 years when the dude's a fucking backup.
Yep, my second favorite quarterback behind Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
Zach
it is Zach
Robinson
Robinson.
Yeah. No slander allowed for Caleb or Justin Fields. And Jordan Love and shit.
Jordan Love's better than Justin Fields. I can tell you that much. That ain't even a debate anymore.
Until he go to the Falcons.
That ain't even a debate anymore. I mean, he could be good, but I think we've seen enough, and it's like we keep giving Justin Fields all these excuses, and it's like, all right, so what's gonna happen if he goes to the Falcons and sucks? Then what's the excuse?
I don't think he's gonna go suck at the Falcons though.
And Kyle Pitts' numbers are going to go way the fuck up because all he can do is throw to a tight end.
Fucking wide receiver screens, dude. Shit. Cause like I'm of the mindset, and like I follow Mark and I follow each other on Twitter, and Mark works for the Falcons, and he was saying the same thing, like, you know, why would the Falcons trade a second-round pick when you can just sign a Kirk Cousins and a Baker Mayfield who have already proven themselves to be better than Justin Fields right now? If you think you have a win-now roster, which the Falcons seem to do.
I don't know. Baker Mayfield, man, I wouldn't give him the keys. He can get you to the playoffs, but he's not winning, championship.
Neither is Kirk Cousins, and Justin Fields probably isn't either. That's the thing, though, is like you need like a top 8 quarterback to really, if you think you're a championship contender, like you need a top 8 quarterback, and you can't just go get one of those guys in free agency. And if someone thinks they have a top 8 quarterback, I promise you, they're not trading him. You know what I mean?
Justin Fields could be one.
I mean, anybody could probably be one, but are they? That's the difference.
Those weapons at offensive line, B. John Robinson, man, Justin Fields gonna be nasty in Atlanta.
And if he's not,
then they only gave up a second-round pick for him, and they only got to have him for one more year.
And then what?
Yeah, I think a second-round pick is.
You draft another quarterback. You got plenty of quarterbacks down the pipe.
Yeah, they should draft Spencer Rattler.
It might not be this class, but the next couple classes are gonna be nice too.
I gotta draft Spencer Rattler, bro.
Okay. Spencer Rattler could back up. He could go home to Arizona and back up Kyler.
Shit, I would take Rattler as a backup. Rattler's gonna end up starting though. I'm telling you, bro. Telling you.
Yeah, he's gonna start for like 5 games. He's gonna be like old boy from that went to Ole Miss.
Shit, Rattler he'd be better tomorrow than Daniel Jones.
Maybe.
He'd be better tomorrow than a lot of these starting quarterbacks today, dude. We got a lot of. He'd be better than Derek Carr right now. Fucking captain check down himself. I'll never forget last year when fucking Derek Carr threw like 5 yards out of bounds to who was that? Olave,
the receiver from Ohio State.
Yeah, Olave, and then he starts like yelling at him, dude. Like, bro, that was an uncatchable ball. Like, what are you talking about? Oh shit,
Derek Carr, man.
I can't wait for football, man. We got UFL coming up.
Who cares?
Oh, bro.
Who cares?
It's gonna be lit, bro. XFL was decent last year. USFL I didn't watch.
USFL is terrible though.
Yeah, but now it's combined.
But now it's combined. I think the XFL.
So what's in between decent and terrible? Not good. Not good.
I think
with them taking over is going to be a lot better.
I think it'll be better though. I think it'll be better for sure. It'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, Ben, your Giants signed Matt Chapman, 3 years, $85 million deal.
54.
54, yeah, fucking steal, dude. And they deferred all of it, right?
Yep. Yeah, we deferred 84 million. So that 84 of the 54 we deferred into 26 what is it? 26-14, I think. So we're not paying for that for another 250 years. So we did something better than the Dodgers. But no, it's a fucking great signing. He has the opt-out after 1 year, which is a little rough, but if he does have a prove-it year, then it's likely a no-go for the Giants. But
well, I mean, they could always bring him back, but that's why I love about opt-out years, Ben, is it gives a guy motivation to play very well that season because he's on a contract year, right? And then
Yep.
B, if he is good and he opts out and then he signs a long-term deal and you don't re-sign him, chances are you might have dodged a bullet. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and you get compensation for that, right?
Yep, and you
Compensatory
get a
pick?
compensatory pick. So I love the opt-outs. I think that's a big thing with Blake Snell right now, why he hasn't signed, because apparently he turned down a 6-year, $180 million deal from the Yankees, but he wants an opt-out in the first year, and I don't think the Yankees were willing to do that, because if he has another good year, then he opts out, and then shit's crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Blake Snell. But what do you think about the Matt Chapman signing? What's your thoughts? What's the temp check out there in the Bay?
I mean, everybody's stoked about it. It makes us a competitive team for that number 2 in the division. And I think we're gonna see 3 teams coming out of the NL West. And for a possibility for the wild card and division lead. So, I think it's a great signing for the Giants. I'm happy with their roster right now. It's no Dodgers, but it's going to be a competitive team, a more competitive team than we've seen in the last 4 years.
They got to get another starter.
I mean, even when we do need another starter. It's going to be interesting to see what Ray brings us. What, a third of this way into the season is when he's coming back.
Yep.
So, I agree. We need another starter, but I'm happy with the signing. We were talking about it, and you mentioned how he hits into the gaps, which is going to be great for that ballpark. His home run numbers will be down, but he should be able to hit well. He's used to the Bay. I think it's going to be good.
When Chapman's good, he's hitting line drives. When he starts to try to hit home runs, that's when he starts to fall apart. Because remember, last year he was hitting like 320 in the first 3 months of the season. I don't know if he got hurt or banged up or what, but I mean, he really tailed off at the end of the year. But nonetheless, you're getting a platinum gold glover at the very least, right? So you're getting the best defensive third baseman in baseball, arguably outside of Brian Hayes and Nolan Arenado. But that alone in that ballpark, especially because the Giants have been so bad defensively the last couple of years, dude. They've been at the top of the league in errors. I think it's huge to solidify the hot corner. You know what I mean? Getting that position down is huge.
The hot corner and the right side of the infield, because we're gonna have Luciano at shortstop now.
Yep.
So having that strong third baseman there is gonna help defensively, and also gonna help left side. Yeah, sorry, depends how you're looking. I know you're right. But having Luciano there, having a guy next to him like Chapman is going to give him more confidence in the field.
Yeah.
So
I'm
excited for that. We have to shore up the right side now, because I think we have who do we have? Estrada and Lamont Wade.
Yeah, well, Wade and JD Davis are probably gonna fucking platoon at first.
Yeah,
because Lamont Wade can't hit lefties, so he can't play every day.
I think we're still gonna see a trade happen, because I think Joey Bart is pretty much done in San Francisco. You've got Sable as a backup to Patrick Bailey. Sable played great last year, so I think you can probably and as much as I hate it, maybe put Casey Schmidt at second. It's not his strong side, but getting him in the lineup is huge. And then have some rotation at first, and try to get something to get another, or trade something to get another pitcher, because that's our major weakness right now.
Or just sign Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Giants haven't done it, dude. It's the most pitcher-friendly ballpark, dude. Just build your team around pitching.
Yeah. Well, maybe that helps with, since we signed one Boris player, and he needs to get a paycheck too. So he's going to be pushing to have these players take.
I think the other thing
these
too why they
deals.
I think another reason why they haven't signed Sneller or Montgomery too is that they'll have a lot of lefties with Robbie Ray and what's that kid's name? Harrison.
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison, and then if you have Snell, you basically have 3 fucking lefties.
Yeah,
and then Logan Webb and who are they throwing out there as their 5th starter?
The guy that they just picked up. Fuck. Hold on.
Some mid-ass fucking dude, probably, who will have like a career year.
Oh, if I can hope.
I mean, if you can't pitch in AT&T or whatever the fuck they call that park now, Oracle, you can't pitch anywhere, dude.
It is. Hold on.
Ben don't even know.
Nope. Hicks.
Oh yeah, Jordan Hicks. They're converting him to a starter. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. He's got stuff. He's got the stuff. That's for sure. All right, let's get some best bets, fellas. Here we go. What do we got on deck for tomorrow, Monday, March 4th?
I don't have any, so I haven't looked at nothing. But I'll text it to the group chat.
All right, Ben.
So we're going Las Vegas Golden Knights over the Blue Jackets. We're gonna go -1.5. Vegas coming off a embarrassing beatdown by Buffalo Sabres 7-2. They need to come back, and this is a great place to come back against the Blue Jackets, who are not absolute dog shit, but pretty much dog shit. So I think that's a great spot, taking them at that -1.5. I think you can also throw the Avalanche -1.5. If you can find -1.5, you're probably not going to get a good number, because I'm seeing -2.5s out there at +105. Chicago is complete dog shit, so 2.5 might even cover. So
-2.5 Avs.
2.5 Avs, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I probably won't bet 2.5, but
I got 2 best bets for tomorrow in the Big Sky. We're heading to the Big Sky. We got Weber State -3 on the road against Montana State. Montana State coming off an overtime loss to Eastern Washington on Saturday, so I expect them to be a little bit tired. Weber State finally getting healthy. Dylan Jones looking like the best player in the league finally, so I like Weber State -3. And then we're going to stay in the Big Sky. We're going to head out to Sacramento and take Sac State +8 against Eastern Washington. Kind of the same mindset. Eastern Washington coming off that double or that overtime win. So I really like Sac State here in this spot to cover +8. It's going to be tough. Eastern Washington is really good, so it's a plug your nose play. Just plug your nose and take it. But Eastern Washington hasn't been very good on the road.
There we go.
There we go. Also, before we get out of here, I do want to say RIP to Chris Mortensen. We learned today he passed away at 72 years old. The original NFL insider, man. And it's crazy because a lot of people are like, well, you didn't even know him and stuff. It's like, bro, I grew up watching this dude every day on TV, bro. Like, they almost become a part of your life because you see him so much, Ben. That, like, when they do pass away, it's hella sad, bro. Like, it literally, like, a part of me is gone because he was always there every day. Not there for me, but he was there on the TV giving me NFL inside information. And
I didn't quite get that, like, until we lost Stuart Scott. And that one was another one of those, like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm not going to see him every day, every other day. Just telling us how it is in sports. So
Yeah, and anyone out there, if they haven't seen Daniel Jeremiah from NFL Network today, when he found out on air about it,
oh fuck,
just one of the most heart wrenching things. And if it's on my Twitter, so follow me on Twitter at Jordan Wills TSP. You can see it on there, but it's really heartfelt, dude. And you could tell, like, because he was like, dude, I was just texting him like yesterday. And
yeah,
it's hella sad, man. So rest in peace, Chris Mortensen, the original NFL insider. Thank you for all the years and all the memories. With that being said, we'll be out of here. We'll be back on Tuesday night. You can catch us. We'll be doing our NLAL East preview show. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Follow the podcast at taproom_sports on Twitter, at Taproom Sports Podcast on Instagram. You can follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see y'all on Tuesday. Have a blessed night. Have a blessed Monday. Let's have a good start to the week, fellas. Let's go. Peace.
peace.